After the end of the world and the outbreak of the zombie apocalypse, a child who has never encountered or fought a zombie in his life enters a city that's unnaturally full of zombies. He enters it with his sick mother to find a doctor who can treat her. So, my friend, will this little kid even be able to find a doctor in the first place? And will he be able to continue with his mother searching like this in the middle of the end of the world and all the zombies? That's what we're going to find out in today's summary. So let's get going, because this summary is pretty chill, like 2, 3, maybe 4 levels of chill. The movie starts in the United Kingdom, or more precisely, in England, and we currently see a mother taking her son, whose name is Jamie, and placing him somewhere along with other children. And, my friend, you can feel something's wrong, because this mother tells Jamie not to leave this place no matter what happens, and no matter the cost. Anyway, not much time passes before we find a huge number of zombies attacking the place, attacking all the children who were with Jamie, his mother, and everyone else. But Jamie is the only one who manages to escape this massacre miraculously, and he makes his way to the church in the city, where he finds the priest praying and making supplications. The priest tells Jamie that the infected have invaded the city and killed everyone. Jamie tells him that they killed his mother, his brother, and everyone who was with him. But my friend, all of this doesn't make any difference to the priest, who seems to be in a completely different world, just praying and telling Jamie that Judgment Day has come and that they've been set free, and saying a lot of other things like that. The priest then gives Jamie a cross to protect him and tells him to run. So Jamie immediately goes and hides in a safe place inside the church. After that, a huge number of zombies attack the church, and the priest gives himself up to them without resisting at all. And indeed, the priest dies like everyone else, getting eaten. As for Jamie, he manages to escape from his spot and goes on his way, trying to find a safe place where he can hide. At this point, my friend, we learn that a virus has spread called the rage virus, which turns people into extremely angry and extremely strong creatures that eat anyone in front of them, just like zombies. In other words, these people feel like zombies, and they really are zombies, but they're unnaturally more vicious than the regular zombies we're used to seeing in any movie or show. And by the way, this virus was supposed to have spread across the entire world, but especially in England. That's why it was quarantined by all the European countries in an effort to contain the outbreak. And indeed, Europe and the rest of the world managed to prevent the virus from spreading further, but the virus continued to rage throughout England, and in a massive way. England was completely destroyed, and everyone still living there was left to their fate. Life in England went back to primitive times amidst the zombie outbreak and all the disasters. Now, my friend, 28 full years have passed since the events we saw with Jamie at the beginning. We're now in England, specifically in one of the settlements, where a group of survivors lives. Inside one of the homes in this settlement, we see a boy named Spike. Spike goes over to his father, who turns out to be Jamie. Yes, my friend, Jamie, the boy we saw at the beginning, has survived all these 28 years since the start of the outbreak, and now he has a son named Spike. Anyway, Jamie and Spike sit down to have breakfast and chat together, and we learn that Jamie is taking Spike today on a scouting trip outside the settlement where they currently live. We also learn that this settlement is actually an island in the middle of the ocean, completely isolated, and that getting in and out of it is only possible at specific times, not just whenever you feel like it. It all depends on the ocean tides. We find out that Spike is going with Jamie so he can train to kill zombies now that he's gotten a bit older, since being just a small child before, he had never killed a zombie in his life. But now, he's old enough and capable, one way or another. After that, Spike and Jamie go to see Jamie's wife and Spike's mother, Isla, and we find out that Isla is suffering from some strange illness that no one really understands. She constantly rambles nonsense. At the moment, Jamie and Spike inform her that they're going outside the island, and Isla breaks down, terrified for her son, Spike. But Spike and Jamie manage to calm her down. Then the old man Sam arrives, and we learn that he'll be looking after Isla while Jamie and Spike are away. They say goodbye to Sam and head to the island gate, where they meet Jenny, the leader of the place, who wishes them luck. Finally, Jamie and Spike head out and begin their journey. They keep walking for a long time, my friend, until they reach a forest, and in that forest, they encounter one of the infected, or zombies. This zombie is large and moves rather slowly, and Jamie explains to Spike that this is a type of zombie that isn't too strong, but still dangerous. It can definitely kill someone. Spike tells Jamie he wants to try killing it himself, since it would be the first zombie he's ever killed. So Spike uses his bow and shoots an arrow into the zombie's neck, finishing it off. Then another zombie appears, and Jamie quickly takes it down as well. Jamie grabs Spike, and they leave the area before more zombies show up. After walking a bit more, they arrive at a house. They go inside and find a zombie hanging by the neck with a bag tied over its head. Spike is shocked by the sight, and Jamie explains that this zombie used to be a normal person, but he probably had some conflict with someone who kidnapped him, brought him here, tied him up, and let zombies eat him until he turned into one himself. Spike is horrified. He can't believe a human being would do something like that to another human. But, my friend, this won't be the last disturbing thing he'll witness in this strange place. While they're talking, the zombie frees itself and is about to attack, but Spike shoots it with an arrow and finishes it off. They continue on their way into the forest, and as they walk, they come across a tree with an animal head hanging from it. At that moment, Jamie is shocked, and Spike tells him that this is the work of the Alphas. The Alphas, as it turns out, are an extremely powerful type of zombie. Jamie tells Spike that this definitely means there's at least one alpha nearby, so they need to run. And they do. On their way, they encounter a group of alpha zombies, and my friend, they are insanely strong. The alphas start chasing them, and Jamie and Spike begin shooting at them. Jamie manages to kill several of them. They then hide inside a house, but the zombies follow them in. Jamie keeps fighting and killing them until they're finally safe. After that, Jamie and Spike stay hidden in that house. While they're hiding, Spike notices a fire burning in a specific area outside. He asks Jamie about it. What's the fire? And why is it there? Jamie honestly doesn't know. He says maybe someone is burning zombies, or maybe it's a sign. Only God knows. Spike lets the subject go. But my friend, keep that fire in mind for later. Anyway, a new disaster strikes because the house they were hiding in is old and crumbling. So now it starts collapsing on them. And of course, they quickly escape and thankfully make it out safely. They keep walking on their way back to the island because their journey is over now. But along the way, they get chased by zombies again, and they keep running until they reach the settlement. There, they start shouting for Jenny, the leader, to open the gate and let them in. But Jenny doesn't do that right away. She just watches them, trying to make sure they haven't been infected. And by the way, she can tell just by looking. If someone's infected, their eyes turn red and glow in a weird way. That's one of the symptoms of the virus. But Jenny doesn't see any signs of infection on them, so she realizes they're fine and lets them into the settlement. After that, my friend, once Jamie and Spike are inside and settled down, the people throw them a party, and Jamie is overjoyed. He keeps telling everyone that Spike managed to kill a lot of zombies today, which honestly bothers Spike, because it's a lie. He didn't kill a bunch of zombies or anything. He only took down a weak one that could barely move. But Spike doesn't say anything, and just sits there at the party. After a while, though, he sees his dad, Jamie, standing with some girl at the party, slutty, and that's when he realizes Jamie is cheating on his mom, Isla. This really upsets Spike, but he doesn't do anything in the moment. He just quietly leaves the place and returns to the house they live in. There, Spike finds Sam still sitting with his mother, taking care of her, just like before. At that moment, Spike sits down with Sam and starts talking to him about the fire he saw earlier, back when he was hiding in the house with his father. Sam tells Spike that the fire must be coming from Dr. Carson's house. Spike is shocked and immediately asks Sam, "Who's Dr. Carson?" Sam explains that Dr. Carson used to live with them, but over 10 years ago, he left and went to live alone somewhere. He's always the one who lights the fire that Spike saw. Sam also tells Spike that his father, Jamie, knows Dr. Carson very well and is fully aware of his presence, and he definitely knew that fire was coming from Carson's place. Hearing this makes Spike extremely upset, and for two reasons, my friend. First, because when he asked his father about the fire earlier, Jamie said he didn't know anything about it and brushed the subject off. Second, because Spike has been telling Jamie for a long time now that he wants to find a doctor to treat his mother, Isla, but Jamie always told him that there's not a single doctor left in the entire world. Now, when Spike learns about Dr. Carson, he's heartbroken. He realizes Jamie never intended to help Isla at all, and maybe even wants her to die so he can be with someone else. After that, Sam finishes his chat with Spike and leaves. The next day, Spike talks to Jamie and asks him about Dr. Carson. He says, "If there's a doctor, why didn't you tell me so we could take Isla to him?" Jamie tells Spike that a long time ago, before the outbreak, Dr. Carson was a normal man and a very skilled doctor. But after the outbreak began, he started to lose his mind. Jamie explains that Carson used to live with them in the settlement, but one day they found him collecting a large number of corpses. When they asked him why, he told them he had a hobby of collecting dead bodies. Literally insane. Of course, when they realized he was mentally unstable, they kicked him out of the settlement completely. Since then, he's been living alone. Jamie tells Spike that Carson would never be able to help Isla or treat her because he's completely insane. At that moment, my friend, Spike doesn't believe Jamie because he knows his father has lied to him before, so he figures he could be lying now too. He realizes that Jamie never told him about Dr. Carson because he doesn't care about either him or his mother, and doesn't even want her to be treated in the first place. While Jamie and Spike are talking, they suddenly hear Isla's voice. Spike rushes in to check on her and finds her in a terrible state, completely delirious and rambling more than ever. Jamie comes over to check on her, but this just pushes Spike over the edge. He shoves Jamie away and raises a knife at him, threatening to kill him if he comes near him or his mother again. Jamie is shocked by Spike's reaction, but he doesn't fight back. He just walks away in silence. The next day, we see a fire break out near the settlement, and everyone is shocked, including Jamie, who rushes out with the rest of the people to see what's happening. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see Spike using the opportunity to sneak out of the settlement with Isla. We find out that Spike is the one who started the fire to distract everyone so he could escape with his mother. Spike's plan, my friend, is to take his mother to Dr. Carson in hopes he can treat her. So Spike and Isla start walking for a long time, and although Spike is absolutely terrified, he keeps going with his mother. After traveling for hours, they decide to stop and spend the night in a safe spot. But the problem is, during the night, while they're sleeping, a zombie creeps up and is about to attack them, but someone appears from behind the zombie and kills it. The next morning, Spike wakes up and finds the zombie dead. He asks Isla what happened, but she doesn't remember anything. However, she starts having flashbacks and sees herself killing the zombie. So we learn that Isla is actually the one who took it down. But during the night, because of her confused mental state, she forgot everything. Elsewhere in the forest, we see a group of soldiers fighting fiercely against a horde of zombies, and they managed to take down many of them. But the problem was that there were so many zombies, and they kept attacking everyone until they had almost wiped out all the soldiers, leaving only one survivor. And remember, that surviving soldier was named Eric. Meanwhile, on the other side, we go back to Isla and Spike, who kept walking for a very long time on their way to Dr. Carson. But along the way, they were chased by powerful zombies from the type I told you about before, the alpha type. So they kept running from them until they entered some place. The zombies followed them inside, but then the soldier I mentioned earlier, Eric, showed up and set off a small explosion in the area, wiping out all the zombies and saving Isla and Spike. After that, Eric asked them how to escape from here. They told him they didn't know, and he was the soldier, so he was supposed to be the one who knew. Eric got frustrated and decided to leave them and walk away, but he saw Isla was very sick, my friend, and that Spike was just a child who wouldn't be able to take care of her. So you could say Eric felt sorry for them and decided to stay with them. And since Isla was very sick at that point, delirious and unable to walk, Eric carried her and started walking with Spike. On the way, they talked, and from their conversation, we learned that Eric is from Sweden and lives there in a completely safe place, far away from all these zombies. But the problem was that he had gone on a mission with his army unit, and unfortunately, they mistakenly reached the shores of England, and their ship was destroyed. So they were forced to come to the island and got trapped there. Now, Eric's entire unit is gone, and he's the only one still alive. Of course, Spike was shocked and didn't know what to say exactly. After a while, Isla heard a sound coming from an abandoned bus, so she entered that bus and followed the source of the sound until she was surprised to find in front of her an alpha-type female zombie giving birth. And here, my friend, we realize that these zombies are literally very different from any zombies we've seen in our lives because they can get pregnant and give birth completely normally. The important thing is that Isla feels sympathy for the zombie, so she starts helping her give birth. Then Eric and Spike arrive, and of course, they're shocked by what they're seeing. A regular person literally giving birth. Anyway, Isla keeps helping the zombie until she manages to deliver the baby. The zombie gives birth to a girl, and the baby seems completely normal, my friend. But after giving birth, the zombie is about to attack Isla and kill everyone until Eric steps in and finishes her off. After that, Eric decides to kill the baby that the zombie just gave birth to because she could easily turn into a zombie soon. But Isla and Spike refuse because the girl still looks completely normal. Eric goes completely mad and decides to kill them both along with the strange child. But Eric doesn't get the chance to do all that because a powerful alpha zombie suddenly shows up, pulls Eric out of the bus, and kills him on the spot. Then the zombie enters the bus, sees the dead zombie woman, and gets very upset. We find out that this zombie was probably her husband, and the baby she just gave birth to is his daughter. The zombie starts chasing Spike, his mother, and the baby, and he's extremely strong and fast. He runs after them with everything he's got. Eventually, they reach the place where Dr. Carson lives. When Dr. Carson sees them running toward him, he quickly comes down to help and manages to shoot an arrow at the alpha zombie, taking him down. Then Carson takes them inside and introduces himself. Spike is really happy they finally found him. He tells Dr. Carson that he wants him to treat his mother, Isla. Dr. Carson agrees and takes them both to where he lives, a place filled with a strange structure made of skulls that he collects. And with that, we realize that Dr. Carson is indeed a bit crazy, just like Jimmy had said. Anyway, later that night, Dr. Carson goes to Isla and begins examining her. And after he finishes, Carson sits with Isla and Spike and tells them the shocking news. Isla has cancer in a very advanced stage. That's the main reason behind her constant episodes of delirium. Carson also tells them that there's no hope for Isla. She's going to die soon, and before that, she'll suffer a lot. The delirium episodes will become more frequent and more severe until her life ends. Dr. Carson believes the best option now is to end her life while she still remembers something, to save her from all that suffering. Of course, Spike completely refuses everything Carson says, but Isla herself agrees with him. She says goodbye to her son Spike in a very emotional and heartbreaking scene. Then she goes with Dr. Carson so he can end her life. Afterward, Carson returns to Spike carrying a new skull. We realize, of course, that it's Isla's skull. Carson had just finished her off a short while ago. Spike takes the skull and places it in a specific spot so he can always remember that it belongs to his mother and keep her memory alive forever. Up to this point, everything was more or less okay. What's not okay is that later that same night, Spike and Carson hear the sound of a zombie. They quickly go hide in a trench that Carson had previously dug for emergencies. While they're hiding there with the baby girl, the daughter of the zombie, suddenly a zombie appears and tries to drag Carson out of the trench to kill him. But Spike quickly stabs his knife into the zombie's hand and manages to push him away from Carson, saving his life. Carson keeps thanking Spike for saving him and tells him he's a brave person. The next day, we see that Spike has left Carson behind because he wants to go off on his own, explore the country, and live his life. But before doing that, he leaves the zombie girl in front of the gate of the settlement where Jimmy and the others live. He also leaves a message with the girl. And indeed, after a while, they find the child and bring her into the settlement. They also find the letter that Spike left with her. In the letter, he tells them that someone has to take care of this child and raise her well. But he also informs them that she's the daughter of a zombie. Although strangely, she's not infected with any virus, so they have to look after her, but still be cautious. Spike also tells them that his mother Isla's life has come to an end, and that he's planning to travel across the whole country and explore it piece by piece. He says that one day, he'll come back to the settlement. After this, we see Jimmy reading the letter, and he's completely shocked. He runs out of the settlement like a madman, trying to find his son, Spike. But of course, he can't find him. Jimmy realizes that his son is lost to him forever and that he may never see him again. Later, we see Spike sitting alone in a remote place when suddenly a zombie appears and tries to attack him. Spike quickly uses his bow and arrow and kills the zombie. But before he can catch his breath, a whole pack of alpha zombies attacks him. Just before they get to him, a mysterious group arrives, strong and highly skilled fighters. They attack the zombies with amazing precision and manage to wipe them all out. We feel, my friend, that this group is different in every way. Even their fighting style isn't based on bows, but on swords and spears. The leader of this group speaks to Spike and invites him to join them. Spike agrees, feeling like this could be the start of something new. And that's where the movie summary ends. If you liked the summary, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section so we can talk about the film together. Stay safe. Goodbye.